If you're a web designer that cares solely on how your website looks, then unfortunately, you're already losing. You see, yourself as a web designer, I completely appreciate why you would see websites as being something that needs to be fancy, pretty, visually appealing. But as a business owner, they don't see it that way. Business owners, they really don't care about pixel perfection, fancy animations, the fact that you're able to win design awards. They care about one thing, that's results. And so if your website isn't a website that's driving them revenue, giving them ROI, getting them results, inquiries, whatever it is that they're looking for, then that website that you've built for them is ultimately worthless, period. And so to further that, the mistakes that I see web designers making, and I'll hold my hands up, I've been in this position, I've made these mistakes early on in my business as well. I used to put all of my energy and effort in becoming a designer that was able to make really kind of mind-blowing, visually appealing designs. And I generally thought that that is what I needed to do to impress clients. But the question that was arising was, well, what happens after launch? What happens when that website is live and handed over to the business owner? And ultimately, it was nothing. Little traffic, no sales, no inquiries, no impact. And that's because the websites that I was originally building, and I see a lot of other web designers building, they're not built to convert. There is no conversion principles weaved into the design whatsoever, because ultimately it was built to look good, and that's all. So think about this for a second. I don't know how far in your journey or how experienced you are, but how often have you heard clients say to you, whether you're on a sales call or some other story, that they've spent £2,000, £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 on a website and it did nothing for them? And this statement right there is, I believe, one of the main reasons why web designers are now considered somewhat distrustful and less valuable than they once were. Business owners that have been burnt by web designers that focus purely on design, they're given us a bad name. And the business owners, they just look at us like another expense that isn't going to give them an ROI. And we need to flip that. So now that you know this, what's the solution? And for me, I believe that you have to stop being a web designer that builds things purely on aesthetics and become something that I like to call a profit-first designer, which means that you're not just building websites for websites' sake, and you're putting far less emphasis on the aesthetics and much more emphasis on the business's needs and the things that are going to help customers, or so let's say their customers, convert. Things that business owners are generally interested in and things that businesses need, like leads. They need more inquiries to keep their sales pipeline full, so their sales team can have conversations, so those conversations can turn into sales and ultimately lead into more revenue and more profit for the business. That's ultimately what businesses care about, and it's our job as web designers to allow that website to become a tool within this whole marketing machine that can help them convert visitors into customers. And when you're able to do that, and I like to be able to visually show on a screen recording my prospects how I'm able to do this for my previous customers, when you're able to show how your websites can generate revenue for that business, you're no longer considered a worthless expense, and instead you're considered an investment, which is ideal. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here and suggesting that you completely disregard aesthetics, throw it out the window. That's not what I'm saying. What I need you to do is, yes, appreciate the aesthetics, but put more emphasis on the things that are going to allow visitors to convert. What can you do to the website structurally to increase the chances of someone getting in touch with that business and achieving the goals that that business owner needs for their business? And when you can take aesthetics and you can take conversion principles and you can weave them in together, you can make a pretty freaking powerful website, trust me. So if you're stuck, I want to help you. I want to be able to just give you something to take away in this video. If you're stuck with thinking, how on earth do I do this? Let me give you three things that you can start implementing into your websites from today that will allow that website to work better for clients. Now, number one, and I've spoken about this a few times. In fact, I've spoken about all three of these a couple of times now. But number one is understanding or taking an appreciation in the website speed. Ultimately, if the website cannot load within 3 seconds, then the majority, a very large percentage of the visitors trying to visit that site, they're just going to leave, they're going to walk out the door, and any opportunity of a sale is just going to be it's going to be gone. And so the reason why you should put emphasis on things like this and disregard more of the aesthetics, because if you focus purely on aesthetics, fancy animations, and things taking ages to load and bloating the site out, that's going to increase your load time and give you poor site speed. Okay, so you have to find the balance there. So just make sure that your site loads under 3 seconds. It's a very easy thing to do if you keep your site lightweight. You can use a Google page speed tool to make sure that things are loading as quickly as they possibly can. And it will also give you some tips on things that you can change if your website is just above that 3 second threshold. Number 2 is clarity. Make sure that the website is super clear about what this business does, what is on offer. How does this business help the customer that's landed on the website? And once you've explained those things, give a clear call to action. What do you want that person to do next? You really need to spell that out, because trust me, a lot of business owners, they want their customer to take action, but their customer just doesn't know what to do. So the best thing you can do as a web designer, and when designing this website, is just really lay out what steps you want the customer to make. What steps does that customer have to take in order to inquire, get in touch, make a sale, have whatever end product is or end service delivery that is on offer. What steps do they need to take to get to the end result? And then the third little tip that I want to give you today is mobile optimization. Right? It almost sounds silly saying this, but we live in a time where a lot more people are visiting websites on a mobile phone, and there's still a large percentage of websites out there that are not considered mobile friendly. Sure, they might have an element of responsiveness if they have anything at all, but even that level of responsiveness isn't ideal in terms of the user experience. They're not giving their potential customer the best experience on their site. Things are maybe a little bit clunky, maybe the navigation isn't working, maybe things haven't stacked from desktop down to mobile correctly, whatever it might be. Because over 50% of traffic now comes from mobile alone, and that percentage is increasing, this has become way more important. If the website looks broken on the site, if it doesn't look engaging, if it's a bit clunky and difficult to use, that person is going to leave. They're going to go somewhere else. So make sure that when you're looking at potentially signing up a new customer yourself, you're auditing a site, take a look at what it looks like on mobile. You'll be surprised how many websites really don't work very well on mobile these days. And if you can find any of them, there is a real opportunity for you as a web designer to reach out to that customer and start helping them with improving their site. So there's those 3 points for you. And ultimately the key takeaway that I want you to take away today is when you can start building websites that are profit first, that focus on solving real business problems, not only does it position you as an expert, a consultant, as someone that's valuable, but it positions you as someone that a business owner doesn't feel like they want. It's someone that they need, because you can actually help them achieve their revenue goals and getting them to places that they want to be, whatever that goal is. Now, in my program, which I'll link to below if you're interested, I teach web designers like you how to make this belief shift to change the way that they see themselves and see themselves as an asset to a business owner. Position yourself in the right way, and ultimately start landing more high value clients. If you are interested in that, there's a link below to join the waitlist. There's around 20 places. There's not many at all. And inside there, as cliche as it sounds, I'll show you how to become a web designer that the businesses that you want to be working with just can't ignore. So if that sounds good, make sure you click the link below and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you. But other than that, thank you for watching. I hope you found this valuable, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.